Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Friday, October 17th. I'm Michael Taylor, great to be here. Newport Beach Film Festival started last night. I got to go to the opening night. It was a fantastic evening, very wonderful. Remember folks, there's Laguna Woods residence discounts that we talked about on the show, so make sure you're using those discount codes and get into some free movies over at the festival. Really fantastic setup. It's going until next Wednesday or Thursday or Friday of next week, so lots of days, lots of movies going on out there. On today's show though, let's talk about what we're going to be doing today on this day, and we got a great one for you. From Harvard Eye Associates, Dr. John Hovhannissian is going to be here talking about blue light. I have blue light filters right here on my glasses. Hopefully he's going to tell me it's worth the money I spent on those. And then later in the program, we'll be getting from Sports Corner. We got Cole Young's going to be here talking about, of course, lots of football, baseball playoffs, and more. A hockey open. I don't know if he's going to be talking to hockey, but hockey opener for the Ducks the other night. All right. Right now, though, we want to keep you informed and make sure, folks, you're not feeding the wildlife in the area. Rabbits, raccoons, hopefully you're not feeding possums, but all the sorts of critters are out there, right? They are in nature and they're in the wild, and we don't want them getting fed because then they come in and they encroach on the areas, they get into garbage cans, they come around, and, you know, they're wild animals, so just make sure you're not doing that. If you see wild animals in the area that are being a problem, you can always report those things, especially coyotes and things like that. So make sure you're doing that. You can report that, and they will do their best to take care of that. There's the email and phone number there on your screen to do so. All right, folks, let's take a check of our weather, and we got some wonderful temperatures starting today and all through the weekend. We're going to be in the low 80s. Really nice. High pressure's in place. Lots of sunny skies. And then on Monday, we have a slight chance for showers again. So there you go. We might get some rain back here in the forecast. And then warming up right after that, very next day on Tuesday. So there you go, a little quick shower like we had earlier this week. Let's take a look at our sunrise, sunset. Look at this beautiful picture. I think that's a duck, right? Yeah. That's a mandarin duck. All right, there you go. It's from the Irvine Regional Park picture there. Thank you very much, Cynthia Case, for sending us that picture. Wow, that's really a cool shot. What's it got in his mouth there? A little berry or a seed or something? Sunrise this morning was 6:57. I'm discovering this stuff just like you guys are. Sunset tonight is going to be 6:14. If you'd like to send us a picture, we'd love to see it. Cool wildlife in there. Hopefully she didn't feed that animal. Hopefully that was a berry it found in nature. Email us or your pictures at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. We love to see them. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, and we will use it in our sunrise, sunset segment. Okay, we got one meeting to tell you about. Then when we come back, we'll be talking to Dr. John Hovhannissian from Harvard Eye Associates. Stay with us.
Your eyes let you see the world, every smile, every sunset, every moment.
At Harvard Eye Associates, our team of specialists is here to protect your vision.
From cataracts and glaucoma to retina and cornea care, we offer the latest treatments with a compassionate touch.
For over 50 years, you've trusted us with your eyes. We're honored to care for them for years to come.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Harvard Eye Associates, Dr. John Hovhannissian. Feeling blue this morning?
That would be our topic.
That would be our topic, right? So let's talk about blue light. A lot of people hear about blue light. Is it, not too much? You have filters on your glasses, things like that. What is blue light in terms of like the spectrum of light, right? Our sunlight is white light,
yeah,
and that kind of helps with us getting up and getting our biological clocks going and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so light, as we know, is a spectrum. It comes
Right.
in a variety of different colors. And when we see white light, like these studio lights, they are a mixture of different colors. Mm-hmm. And really from the visible spectrum, which we can see in nanometers, which are billionth of a meter, they range from about 400 nanometers at the far blue end, bordering on ultraviolet, to 700 at the red end of the spectrum that we can see. Mm-hmm. Below that is UVA, which goes down to about 315, I think, nanometers.
In nature, we get to see that broken up whenever we see a rainbow.
Yeah, that's right. In nature, that's right. The prismatic effect that comes from little tiny droplets of water that are a quarter wavelength in size, it splits them up, and we see them in those beautiful colors. So The blue light end of the spectrum has different properties in stimulating the retina than the red end of the spectrum. As we know, we have cones and rods. Cones in the retina detect color. But blue has special effects that can alter the way we behave in sleep.
Okay, so tell us exactly, blue light from our phones, tablets, computers, how does it actually affect our sleep? And I imagine it's not just the only factor.
No, for sure, it's not. That's a great point and question. So the blue end of the spectrum, so particularly, not the farthest end, but from about 350 to about 390 nanometers, is that kind of brilliant blue light that's highly visible that seems to stimulate what we call retinal ganglion cells in the back of the eye, that slow down or suppress the release of melatonin, which is a naturally occurring hormone that we have that kind of tells our body it's time to sleep.
Okay.
When our pineal gland and our hypothalamus, take us through the circadian rhythms that we have, one of the things that's released is melatonin, but that's delayed so that people have a longer time falling asleep if they've been exposed to more blue light later in the day, and that's pretty well demonstrated through science.
The fact that our tablets just create blue light as a way that it radiates and emanates the light, that's the spectrum it comes out in, right?
That's right. Whatever it is programmed to do based on what it's displaying, whether it's an image or just text, it has that spectrum that includes, it may not look blue, but it includes some blue light. So that is a driver of, and other sources of blue light. If you have LED lights in your house that are that daylight range, that are, that brilliant white light, that also contains more blue than like these studio lights that are probably 2,700 kelvins that are kind of a warmer light that it would be more incandescent bulbs.
Okay,
right?
You could be our lighting director. So exposure, amount of time, and how bright your screen is probably plays a factor in that too, right?
Yes, absolutely. The brightness of the screen matters, but also the settings on the screen, because you can configure your phone or tablet to display warmer colors that will limit a lot of the blue.
Okay.
And and that speaks to some of the things we can do to help ourselves.
Now, can longer exposure start to cause strain in terms of blue light, constant exposure to it, start to affect our eyes?
Well, and that's a great question, because a lot of people ask about glasses that filter blue light, which have become very popular, right? So we don't think the blue light causes eye strain per se. And similarly, blue light filtering glasses, which have kind of an amber color because they're letting through everything except the blue end of the spectrum, those don't really help with eye strain, according to pretty well done
Well, then why did I pay the extra for them?
Well, UV filtering also comes more or less free with most lenses that are plastic. Most plastic materials, they've got UV, and you can pay extra, I think, and you may be filtering a little more of the UV.
Okay.
But it probably, I'm not sure what you paid for.
Oh my goodness, I didn't want to hear that as the answer. Okay, so if we're having, like you said, the blocking glasses are not as effective as people might think. It's like, hey, we're not blocking all of this. It's still going to maybe interrupt sleep, cause eye strain, even though no matter what kind of filters you got going on?
Well, there's sort of two things we're talking about. So you asked about eye strain. Eye strain and filtering blue light interfering with sleep are kind of two different things. So blue light filtering glasses do reduce the amount of blue light that's entering the eye, and they do have some benefits. Not for everybody. It's a little variable in limiting the the effects that screens have on sleep. But putting that into perspective, the several well-done studies on this, meta-analyses where they look at a bunch of studies, have compared what happens if you wear blue light versus what happens if you alter your screen settings.
Okay.
So on iPhone, for example, there's a setting called night shift. Night shift you can automatically set, so every day after whatever time you designate, it will shift the color coming out of the screen, no matter what application you're on, so the colors are warmer. And so you're not getting as much blue, and that is designed specifically to limit its effect on your sleep. So that actually will limit about 93% of the the light for you. Whereas glasses have been shown, UV or I should say blue light filtering glasses have been shown to be about 33% effective. So 93 versus 33. For me, I'd rather adjust the settings on my phone than wear some glasses that I probably don't need. So are the blue glasses useless or no good? No, and they'll also help you for things other than your screen. But if you're considering the screen itself, the blue glasses aren't doing that much.
Now, does it matter how close you're holding your screen when you're doing stuff? Does that really make a difference? I remember, like, when I was a kid, don't sit so close to the TV.
Yeah. So in kids, it may cause, it may drive a little bit of nearsightedness, which is a whole other topic.
We've talked about that before, right? With the
talk
screen
about
time with kids.
That's right. So in terms of harming your eyes, if you're older and if you can focus on it, holding it closer probably doesn't matter. If you happen to be nearsighted, a lot of people who will take their glasses off and hold their screen real close. That's fine. It's not going to harm you to do that. What the extra light will do, and particularly if it's blue light, is have more intensity on the retina, more stimulation of the cells because it's closer, and it will potentially interfere more with your sleep. So if you do that night shift feature on the phone, you're probably reducing that. Better still, limit screen time at night.
Right.
And use good sleep hygiene habits, meaning try to go to bed around the same time at night, kind of have a routine of wind down. It should not include doing a lot of stuff in bed other than sleeping, because we won't get into extracurricular activities.
You don't need to mention all the things.
What I mean is being on your phone or tablet in bed is a really good way to mess up your sleep. So go do that elsewhere if you want to wind down. And then when you go to bed, all you're doing is sleeping. And that will improve your odds of going to sleep and staying asleep.
Well, the reality is blue light or not, if you're messing up your sleep patterns, you're putting strain on your eyes, right? Because my eyes are the things that get heavy the most. Oh, I'm so sleepy, I can't keep my eyes open. Our eyes need real good rest to be healthy, right?
Well, and that brings up dry eye, which is absolutely correlated with screen time. So dryness of the eyes happens when when the tear film evaporates and we don't have a normal balance of tears. Here's an interesting fact for you. A typical person blinks about 12 times an hour if they have healthy eyes. Now you're going to start blinking and be conscious of it.
I can't stop now.
But that 12 becomes about 3 times a minute when you're concentrating on a screen. It goes way down. So that process of refreshing the surface of the eye, which doesn't just refresh the eye, it also stimulates the tear glands to secrete when we blink, is greatly reduced, and that's why screen time equals dry eye for an awful lot of people.
So overall, from your perspective, is blue light the monster that we've kind of talked about or made it, or is it just it's something that's there that we can simply be aware of?
Blue light is part of the world we live in, but when the sun goes down, that is the world telling us that it's time to think about bed, and there's less blue light unless we create it artificially. So particularly in the hour or so before bed, reducing your exposure to blue light is a really good idea. So set up night shift on your phone. I'm not sure what the feature is in Android, but I'm sure there is one. And in your home lighting, it's probably better to have the warm color lamps than it is those intense kind of bluish daylight color LEDs. And they don't cost any more, and most people think they're more pleasant lightings, warmer tones. Those will also help you wind down and fall asleep.
When you examine an eye, when you look at someone, can you say, oh, there's been maybe too much X exposure, blue light, white light, whatever it might be? Is there a way for you to identify that and see that in an examination?
It's a great question. We're not able to see how much blue light or other colors you see. What we are able to see is cataract, which we know is a real common thing. And here's another interesting, a couple of facts for you if we have time. The yellow effect that happens, the yellowing of the lens in the eye with cataract actually helps filter blue light. Not all of it and not the whole spectrum. It tends to be a little bit lower than the spectrum that's mostly active, keeping us up. Because we lose some blue light, have you ever noticed a little old lady at the store who has bluish hair?
Yes.
She's got cataracts. And the reason is she can't see the blue in the color tint of her hair dye. So when they dye their hair and they pick one that's a little bit blue, they don't see that blue that other people see. And so I always find those ladies who have cataracts and hand them my business card.
He's all business all the time. I like that about him. Harvard Eye Associates, Dr. John Hovhannissian, thanks for joining us.
So good to see you, Michael.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
When it comes to protecting your vision from glaucoma, early intervention makes all the difference.
By using proactive steps through interventional glaucoma, we preserve your vision.
With cutting-edge technology and compassionate care,
we're changing how glaucoma is treated.
one patient at a time. As interventional glaucoma specialists, we're not just managing glaucoma, we're redefining it.
Harvard Eye Associates.
The future of vision today.
I'm Stephanie Landon, talking to you today about screening for lung cancer. Each year, more people die of lung cancer than of colon, breast, and prostate cancers combined. The good news is that the numbers of new lung cancer cases and deaths from lung cancer continue to decrease. The key to surviving cancer is finding it in its earliest stage. And the best way to find lung cancer early, if you are at high risk, is with a low-dose lung CT.
At Petwell Clinic, your local fast relief pet care clinic, there's no waiting days for an appointment. Just walk in when your pet needs care. From the moment you arrive, you'll feel our commitment to openness and service excellence. You remain by your pet's side throughout their visit, and all charges are clearly explained, so there are no surprises at checkout. Serving Laguna Woods Village, we are committed to kind and accessible pet care. Petwell Clinic, your most convenient option for quality pet care.
Happy Friday and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young and a lot has happened in the last week, so let's jump right in. Starting in the NFL, yet again, we saw some major upsets in Week 6. Starting out on Thursday night, Cam Scatterbo ran for 3 touchdowns, Jackson Dart had 1 rushing and another passing, and the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17, handing the Eagles their second consecutive loss. On Sunday morning, we saw some wild finishes. When the dust settled, Rico Dowdle went over 200 total yards for the second straight week, and rookie Ryan Fitzgerald kicked a 33-yard field goal as time expired, and the Carolina Panthers upset the Dallas Cowboys 30-27. Later in the afternoon, Patrick Mahomes threw for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns, scrambled for another score, and led Kansas City to a shocking 30-17 victory over the Detroit Lions. The Chiefs entered into this game with just a 2-3 record, but they seem to be getting back on track. The upsets didn't stop on Sunday, though. We had another doubleheader matchup on Monday Night Football, and the underdogs took home the wins in each game. Bijan Robinson recorded 238 total yards and 1 touchdown to lead the Atlanta Falcons to a 24-14 win over the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. Then, just about an hour later, Jaden Daniels would fumble on the potential game-ending play for the Washington Commanders, and the Chicago Bears would recover, drive down the field to score a field goal as time expired, and the Bears walked out of Landover, Maryland with a 25-24 win. After this week, it's become clear that there are no true dominant number 1 teams in the NFL this season. The Colts, Bucks, Steelers, and Packers all only have 1 loss so far. Even then, all of these teams are just a couple plays away from having losing records. Like I said last week though, we're only 1/3 of the way through the season, so a lot can, and will, change in the next 12 weeks. I had another 3-1 week last week, bringing me to 16-4 on the season. Let's see if this week I can get back to my undefeated 4-0 ways. For Week 7, I'll go with the Patriots to continue their hot streak with a win over the Titans, the Chiefs to dominate the division rival Raiders, the Panthers to keep pounding with a win against the winless Jets, and my upset pick of the week, the Colts over the Chargers. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but Week 7 of college football also brought some wild upsets as well. Number 7 Indiana defeated number 3 Oregon 30-20. Unranked Texas got back on track with a 23-6 win in the Red River rivalry game with number 6 Oklahoma. Unranked USC hosted number 15 Michigan and beat them by 18. Utah dominated number 21 ASU 42-10. Colorado shocked number 22 Iowa State 24-17. And the biggest shock of them all, Penn State lost their 3rd straight game, this time falling short 22-21 to Northwestern. Less than a year removed from an appearance in the college football playoff semifinals, Penn State has fired coach James Franklin after 12 seasons, the school announced on Sunday. Franklin is owed more than $49 million according to his contract. It's the second biggest buyout in college football history, behind only Jimbo Fisher's $76 million buyout from Texas A&M. Following a heartbreaking overtime loss to Oregon, the Nittany Lions then were upset by previously winless UCLA, then Northwestern at home. Those 2 losses proved to be the final straw, and Franklin's time at Penn State has come to an abrupt end. Looking ahead to this week, as per usual, there are some good matchups to look forward to. Number 10, LSU will travel to take on one of the biggest surprises of the season, number 17, Vanderbilt at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then at 12:30 p.m. on ABC, number 9, Georgia will host undefeated number 5, Ole Miss for a massive SEC matchup. At 4:30 p.m., there's another huge SEC game when number 11, Tennessee and number 6, Alabama square off in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Also at 4:30 p.m., we get to watch a massive rivalry game for one of our hometown teams when number 20 USC travels to South Bend, Indiana, looking to upset number 13 Notre Dame. There are plenty of other crucial games this weekend as we slowly creep towards the college football playoffs, so every game from here on out will have massive implications. The WNBA season has officially come to a close. The Las Vegas Aces swept the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA Finals on Friday to win their third title in just 4 years. Asia Wilson scored 31 points to lead the Aces to a 97-86 victory in Phoenix and close out the best-of-7 finals with a 4-0 sweep. Las Vegas built an early lead and were up by as many as 20 points in the third quarter before Phoenix cut the lead to single digits. But the Aces held on to cement their status as the league's next dynasty. Through the playoffs and the finals MVP Asia Wilson scored a whopping 322 points, along with 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. She also became the first player in league history to win the championship and be named regular season MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP in the same season. Wilson's season and postseason will go down as one of the greatest and most dominant across all sports. While they aren't over just yet, we're rapidly approaching the end of the MLB playoffs. Before we get caught up on the championship series, I have to recap the absolutely wild ways the divisional series ended. Last week in the NL, we left off with the Dodgers defeating the Phillies to move on to the NLCS, while the Cubs and Brewers were headed to Game 5. The Brewers then beat the rival Chicago Cubs 3-1 in the decisive 5th game of their NL Divisional Series on Saturday to move on to the Final Four and face the Dodgers. In the American League, I'd mentioned that the Toronto Blue Jays had just eliminated the New York Yankees, while the Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers were headed to Game 5. That series-deciding game ended up being one of the most incredible games I have ever witnessed. In the bottom of the 15th inning, yes, 15 whole innings, the stage was set. For Seattle, J.P. Crawford hit a leadoff single, Randy Arozarena was hit by a pitch, and Julio Rodriguez was intentionally walked. So, with the bases loaded, 1 out, score tied 2-2, Jorge Polanco stepped to the plate. With a full count, Polanco swung at an 87-mile-per-hour changeup and hit the game-ending single in the 15th inning, and the Mariners advanced to the AL Championship for the first time since 2001 by outlasting the Tigers for a 3-2 victory Friday night in the longest winner-take-all postseason game in baseball history. It truly was one of those moments that you instantly know will go down in sports history as one of the greatest and most memorable wins. Now that we're up to speed, the championship series are underway. In the first 2 games of the ALCS, the underdog Mariners continued their hot streak, beating the Blue Jays 3-1 and 10-3. In Game 3 on Wednesday, the Blue Jays struck back. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. went an astonishing 4-for-4, and Toronto hit 5 home runs in a dominant 13-4 win over the Mariners, bringing the series to 2-1. Game 4 was last night, and the Blue Jays have made it 2 straight wins, evening the series at 2-2 and forcing at least a Game 6. Game 5 will be today at 3 p.m., and Game 6 will be on Sunday. In Game 1 of the NLCS, the LA Dodgers got on the board first, taking down the Milwaukee Brewers 2-1. Then, in Game 2, Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched a 3-hitter for the first postseason complete game in 8 years as the Dodgers beat the Brewers 5-1 on Tuesday night to extend their series lead to 2-0. Game 3 of this series was last night, and the Dodgers are now only 1 game away from completing the sweep after taking a 3-0 series lead. Game 4 of this matchup between the Brewers and Dodgers will be tonight at 5:30 p.m., and Game 5 will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. if necessary. With all of that said, enjoy all of the football, baseball, hockey, preseason NBA, and so much more that this weekend has to offer. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Sports Corner. Come right back next Friday for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
The Laguna Woods History Center, the only purpose-built local history archive in Orange County, has been capturing the legacy of our community since 1977. As a nonprofit dedicated to preserving today for tomorrow, we collect, conserve, and share the history of Laguna Woods Village, the city of Laguna Woods, and the surrounding Orange County region. Step into the past and connect with the present at your community archive. Whether you're curious about local milestones, searching for historical documents, or exploring treasured artifacts, the History Center is your gateway to the stories that shape Laguna Woods. The Laguna Woods History Center is a separate building adjacent to the Village Library. We are open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or by appointment. Visit us and find your place in history.
Folks, let's talk movies. We've got them. You want them. Simple as that. Almost Famous is going to be our Friday movie for today. And we got Kate Hudson starring in that one. It's brought to us by RadNet. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles, 6 p.m. without the subtitles. A high school boy in the early 70s is given a chance to write a story for Rolling Stone magazine about an up-and-coming rock band as he accompanies them on their concert tour, and mayhem ensues. It is a fun movie. It's a great one. Real nostalgic, too. You'll enjoy that one. And then on Saturday, Julie and Julia, starring Meryl Streep and Amy Adams. It's brought to us by Advanced Ear Care. Julia Powell is a young blogger and is determined to emulate Julia Child's cooking techniques. Though separated by time, the women share a common passion of food that intertwines their lives. It's actually a fun movie. I remember seeing that. It wasn't a huge hit at the time, but it's a really great watch. So I hope you enjoy that one on Saturday. All right, let's take a quick check of our weather before we head out. And we got some great temperatures. If you're not going to stay in and watch movies, head outside and enjoy the day. 80 degrees today, 80s all through the weekend, and then on Monday, slight chance of rain. A little hiccup in our otherwise beautiful pattern of mostly sunny skies and high temperatures. There you go. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of This Day. Tomorrow on the program, it's all about entertainment. We have Band X as well as the Comedy Club. We're going to be here, guests from both those, talking about upcoming events they have. I'm Michael Taylor. For all of us here at Laguna Woods TV, we hope you make this day a great one.
Thinking about selling your business? Well, now could be the time. Hi, I'm Tom Burns, business broker with the Deal Firm. Since 2008, I've helped business owners navigate the selling process. I've sold all kinds of businesses, from restaurants to law firms, to music schools, and even a fishing resort. I'm a business owner myself, so I understand what this process means to you. Your legacy deserves the right hands. If you're ready to sell your business, call me at the Deal Firm today to write your next chapter.
Laguna Woods residents, there's a 70% chance you will need long-term care, yet Medicare doesn't cover it. Will you and your family be ready? Hi, I'm Mike Barrett, your Laguna Woods long-term care insurance specialist. I'm here to protect you, your family, your assets, and your lifestyle to secure your future. Call today for a free consultation at 949-525-0606.
Los Algodones, known as Molar City, hundreds of thousands of Americans who are coming here to receive excellent dental care. You don't have to fly into Mexico. You don't even need a passport. We'll pick you up and bring you down. We only work with the top 1% of dentists in Mexico. All our implant work comes with a 3 to 5 year guarantee. We negotiate all pricing for you up front. With HebeDoc, you don't need to become a dental expert. You get the best care at the best price, total peace of mind.